So what can you do when you are repeating your affirmations? How do you do it? When do you do that? In that video, I will tell you that there's like two ways you could really affirm. One is more passive, one is more active. Both work. I give you the benefits of both of these different types of affirmations. So make sure to watch the entire video to become a master of affirming. But before we start, I would like to introduce myself. Hello, my name is Janine. I am a licensed manifestation coach, Ho'oponopono coach, life coach, astrologer, and hypnotherapist. And I've been coaching people on a spiritual journey for almost 20 years now. So make sure you listen closely and to check out my other content, because you will find over 20 years of experience all bundled up in my playlist and in my channel. So far, I've had more than 20,000 consultations, helping people to manifest their dream life and to dream it into reality, because it is my absolute passion that everyone who comes across me gets to live their dream life. But now let's talk about affirming. I already said there's like two different ways you could affirm. One is more passive. I call it passively. That would be like the robotic affirmations. The robotic affirmations, you just repeat in your head and you do it over and over, and you can do it, for example, while standing in line at a grocery store, while cooking, while cleaning, while showering. Every time you do something that doesn't really require your focus, you can do robotically affirming. I do that, for example, while I'm watching TV, if it's nothing that I really need to concentrate on. Robotic affirmations saturate your mind through the constant repetition, because your subconscious mind will sooner or later believe everything that you repeated often enough. And sooner or later, a thought becomes an assumption, and that is what manifests. It's the law of assumptions. So you can use robotic affirmations to saturate your subconscious mind by constant repetition. If you do it in the passive way, then of course you need a little bit more repetitions, because the more emotion you have, the faster it can go, because emotion may not be necessary to manifest anything, but of course it is like a catalyst. And if you want to boost your robotic affirmations, and you can do that, make sure to check out my playlist with my secret tips on how to boost your manifestation, because I tell you also how you can boost your robotic affirmations. The other type of affirmations you can do, it's a little bit more active. And also here there's different categories, but when I say active, first it could be literally active, and that could be that you use affirmations as incantations, like power affirmations. You repeat them loud. Robotic affirmations, I forgot to say, you can just do in your mind, but incantations you would do with force, like my person always calls me, my person always calls me, I am always called, I am always loved, everyone loves me, I am always loved, I am always loved, I am always loved, I always feel loved, I always feel loved, I always feel loved, I always feel loved. You have like 1-2 affirmations. Make sure you focus them more on yourself. I started with my person always calls me. You can do that, yes, but only like 20%. 80% should be I am the person who always gets called, I always get called, I am always everybody's number one priority. The main focus should be you, because it's your self-concept. The other 20% is your concept about the other person. The problem is when we try to change our concept about the other person and not our self-concept, then we may manifest some kind of progress, but we don't get to the end goal. Or if we get to the end goal, well, it's not the end goal, because then it just blows up again. So we need to work on self-concept. But again, incantations, you better do them at home, not at the bus stop or at the grocery store, where you really focus and you give your power into it. You speak it into its existence. I'm always everybody's number one priority. I'm always everybody's number one priority. And also, one thing I would advice to sprinkle in also with the robotic affirmations is something like manifesting is so easy for me. Something that implies that you can have whatever you want. So this is the very active way to manifest, or to do your affirmations. Then there's other activities you could do, and those can be more relaxed. This activity could basically also mean you sit down and you meditate. You get into this meditative state and then repeat your affirmations either out loud or in your head. With the robotic affirmations, when I say passive, you do them by just doing something else, and you don't really focus too much. You do your dishes, you watch TV, and you do them. But when you're in a meditative state, then of course you actively put yourself into this meditative state. Or of course you could do them as sats. Sats is state akin to sleep, so you can do your affirmations while you're drifting off to sleep or you are in meditation. But also you can do them by, for example, painting mandalas, like mandalas, when you really focus on filling in the color, and then that can be some kind of meditation as well, and your brain waves slow down, and then you can think your affirmations, or you can hear them. Maybe you have an audio, maybe one of my robotic affirmations videos on this channel or my other channel, Janini, called Robotic Affirmations and Subliminal. So you can use those. Of course, you can also use those as robotic affirmations that's why I call them robotic affirmations. You can listen to those while you do your dishes or whatever. You just have them in the background looping all day while doing whatever you want, but you are not too focused. It's just your focus constantly shifts to those and then shifts back, and that is fine. But when I say we do it more active, then you really focus. For example, when you do your mandala and you color your little book, your little paper, you still focus and you hear them if you want to listen to them, or you just repeat them, or if you listen to them, you repeat them in your mind, or you could of course also speak them. Or another active thing you can do is you can go for a walk and just really be in the moment, enjoy what you see, and then repeat your affirmations. Because going for a walk, especially in nature, also puts you in this calm place, and then you do something actively and you take that time out to actually do your work. And that again is the difference between robotically affirming, you just do it all day whenever you think about it, versus taking time out to say, I really focus on that. I would say that actually brings it faster because you have more intention in it. You have more focus, more power, more energy in it to really saturate your mind. But still, robotic affirmations always work. Of course, you can do a combination, which is what I often do. I do my robotically affirming, as I said, sometimes when I'm in the shower or doing dishes, cooking, when I'm watching a movie. But then I take time to rant or script, or sometimes a couple of times a day I have like 1-minute sessions where I affirm out loud. So you can of course play with it and pick whatever you like best. Anyway, that is how you can use your affirmations. You see, you can use them in many different ways, whatever suits you best. Check out my other playlist where you will find plenty of information on manifesting, and I'm sure some of that you haven't heard or seen anywhere before. And if you want to speak to me personally, my contact information is in the description box below. And please leave a comment. What did you learn? What is your favorite method? Now that I give you several ones, which is your favorite method? I'm looking forward to reading your comments. Until then, I do wish you all the best now. Bye-bye.